Big Trouble in Little China isn't just a movie. It's a wild mashup of kung fu, comedy, and supernatural madness, and it bombed when it first came out. But decades later, it's one of the greatest cult films ever made. Today, I'm giving you 10 bar-worthy facts about this 1986 classic that you can bust out at trivia night or with friends over drinks. Ever wonder why Big Trouble feels different? Like a cowboy accidentally wandered into Chinatown? 1. The script was originally a Western. Ever wonder why Big Trouble feels different? Like a cowboy accidentally wandered into Chinatown. The original script was set in the 1880s with Jack Burton as a cowboy who gets tangled in Chinese mysticism. John Carpenter modernized it, but you can still see those Old West drifter vibes in Jack Burton's character. This explains why Jack Burton acts like he's in a cowboy adventure. He's basically a truck-driving cowboy in a kung fu movie. That mix of genres is what makes the film so unique. It wasn't trying to fit into just one box. 2. Jack Burton is not the hero. Think Jack Burton saves the day? Think again. John Carpenter has admitted that Jack Burton is essentially the sidekick of the story, while Wang Chi, his friend, is actually the hero. Burton bumbles through the adventure while Wang does all the real fighting and rescuing. This was a deliberate choice to flip the action hero stereotype. Kurt Russell even said he played Jack as a cocky guy who thinks he's the hero but really isn't. It's part of what makes the film so funny and subversive. 3. Kurt Russell turned down major roles for this. Kurt Russell could have been a completely different 80s action star. Russell passed on roles in Highlander and the Highlander's rival project The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai to do Big Trouble in Little China. He wanted to work with Carpenter again after Escape from New York and The Thing. And while Big Trouble flopped at the box office, Kurt Russell has said that he has never regretted it. For him, it was about working with Carpenter, not chasing a blockbuster paycheck. That's pretty cool loyalty. 4. It beat Eddie Murphy to the screen. This movie almost got karate kicked by Eddie Murphy. Big Trouble in Little China was fast-tracked into production to beat The Golden Child, another mystical martial arts film starring Eddie Murphy. The Golden Child opened later in 1986 and made more money, but today Big Trouble is the one with cult status. You know what? I liked The Golden Child, but it's funny that Hollywood thought Eddie Murphy's film would be the big cultural moment. But it's Big Trouble that ended up inspiring video games, comic books, and even Marvel characters. Sometimes the underdog wins in the long run. 5. James Hong helped create Lo Pan's look. The villain's actor had more power behind the scenes than you think. James Hong, who played David Lo Pan, helped design the character's iconic look, from his long fingernails to his glowing eyes. Hong wanted Lo Pan to be both terrifying and oddly charismatic, and James Hong is a legend. He's in over 600 credits. This was one of the roles that defined him as an iconic character actor. His presence is a huge reason why this movie still has such a large presence decades later. 6. The FX team invented new tech for the monsters. Those monsters weren't just rubber suits, they were breakthroughs. The special effects crew developed new animatronics and cable-controlled rigs for the film's creatures, like the floating eyeball guardian. These techniques influenced effects in later films, including Ghostbusters 2. This was 80s practical effects at their peak. Creativity over CGI. And that's why the movie still looks so much fun today. There's just something much more magical about real, tangible effects. 7. The studio didn't get it. The suits in Hollywood didn't know what they had. 20th Century Fox barely marketed Big Trouble in Little China because they couldn't figure out how to sell it. Was it a comedy? An action film? A kung fu fantasy? The confusion hurt its box office. This is a classic case of a movie that's ahead of its time. Audiences didn't know what to make of it in 1986. But now that genre bending is exactly why we love it. 8. John Carpenter quit studio filmmaking after this. One movie broke John Carpenter's Hollywood spirit. Frustrated by the studio's interference and the film's failure, Carpenter swore off major studio projects for years afterward, returning to indie filmmaking. Carpenter's relationship with the system was always rocky. Big Trouble was kind of his "I'm done with this" moment. And you know what? His later indie work is some of his most creative. 9. It inspired video games. You've played Big Trouble without even knowing it. Games like Mortal Kombat and Final Fight drew direct inspiration from Big Trouble's mix of martial arts and supernatural villains. The character of Raiden, basically lightning from this movie. When you see that, you realize how big this film's cultural footprint really is. It's everywhere, just hidden in plain sight. 10. Kurt Russell still loves it. For Kurt Russell, this one's personal. Despite its rocky release, Russell has said that Big Trouble in Little China is one of his favorite roles ever. He loves that fans embraced Jack Burton as a cult hero, and that's what makes a cult classic movie, right? A movie made with love that connects with its audience and connects with its audience over and over again over time. It's why we're still talking about this movie nearly 40 years later. So what's your favorite moment from Big Trouble in Little China? Was it Jack Burton's terrible one-liners, Lopan's over-the-top villainy, or those insane practical effects? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your picks. And if you like these facts, check out my other deep dives on cult classics.